Hello, bookworms. Welcome back to the Bonafide Bookworm. I'm your host, Rachel, and if you're here to read along with me and improve your English. So, today, we finished all of our laws, and so I don't really have any announcements other than I have decided what our next book will be. So if you wanted to purchase it so you can follow along, but of course you don't have to. You can just listen to me if that's what you want to do. So the book we're going to do, I'm so excited about this, is As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Princess Bride by Carrie Elwes and Joal. Yeah, I love The Princess Bride. I have listened to the audiobook of this book. It's a good book. It's a fun book. I think it'll be really enjoyable. It was a suggestion. And by the way, if you have suggestions, send them. You can leave them in the comments or shoot an email to the Bonafide Bookworm, whatever works for you. So I'm excited to read that. Pretty sure The Princess Bride is, and Carrie Elwes is what made me love like blonde-haired, blue-eyed men. And honestly, Robin Wright, I mean, my goodness, it's like they found the two most beautiful people at that time and stuck them in a movie. So yeah, we'll read that because we're getting a little bit close to the end on Saving Sadie with Joal, Derse, Dauer with Elizabeth Ridley. When we left off, we were on page 138, and Marnette was in town. They went to another Jammin' on Janesville event, and when they were there, Sadie got to meet a veteran who had been shot in the head and had kind of some similar issues to what she's going through. And Joal saw how well that Noah, the man who got shot, responded to Sadie, and Sadie did well with him, and I think it's kind of given her an idea to grow Saving Sadie to something more than just taking care of Sadie, but also seeing what else she can do out there to help other people. So that's where we're at. We're going to pick back up on page 138. Throughout the summer of 2012, we were generating a lot of media coverage online for Sadie and for her story. Laura Simpson of the Great Animal Rescue, Chase, was regularly posting articles about Sadie on her websites and also on the care2.com website. And dozens of people were sharing links to our articles, website, and social media sites. This was all wonderful, but I knew we needed more coverage from traditional media, TV, radio, magazines, and newspapers, if we were going to garner the kind of support we needed for Sadie long term. Fortunately, around this time, my friend Robert Ritzholtz sent me an article from the Daily Herald, a newspaper out of Arlington Heights, Illinois, covering the northern and western suburbs of Chicago. The article mentioned our mutual friend Jack Taylor, who was a radio announcer on WGN many years ago and a beloved TV anchor on the 5 and 10 o'clock Channel 9 News in Chicago. Jack was going to be hosting a new show called A Few Minutes with Jack Taylor on Saturdays on WDCB, a public radio station owned by the College of DuPage in Illinois. Sensing an opportunity here, I decided to give Jack a call. I apologize. I had pizza for lunch, and it is like giving me serious acid reflux here. I'm struggling. I'm so sorry. Okay, back to the book. Jack, who is such a polite and funny gentleman, was happy to hear from me and listened intently as I told him all about how I had met, fallen in love, and adopted Sadie, a dog with special needs, and then asked him if there was anything he could do to help me spread the word about Sadie's plight. He immediately offered his assistance. The first two connections Jack arranged didn't pan out, but then he put me in touch with Jamie Sautenhoff at the Herald, who put me in touch with Bert Constable, the Herald's seasoned reporter and columnist, and Bert asked to interview Sadie and me. The local connection for the Daily Herald's readership was that Sadie received rehab at Tops in Grays Lake on the outer edge of the Chicago suburbs and also the fact that I had lived in northern Illinois for several years before returning to my home state of Wisconsin. After clearing it with the staff, Sadie and I met Bert and the photographer at Tops, where they took numerous photos and got to observe Sadie's therapy in action as she received cranial sacral massage and worked out on the hydro treadmill. The interview with Bert lasted well over an hour and seemed to go very well. But as with the article in the Waukesha Freeman 3 months earlier, we waited on pins and needles for several weeks to see how it turned out. Sorry, my dogs are doing something weird. Negative media coverage, we knew, would be worse than no coverage at all and could actually set back Sadie's cause significantly. We realized that not everyone understood or approved of putting so many resources into saving one disabled dog when there were so many people in need, and we had to always be prepared to handle any negative backlash. And then at last the article appeared. Sunday, August 19th, 2012, we had front page coverage yet again, with Bert's column in the lower right-hand corner of the cover of the Daily Herald. Beneath the byline, Bert Constable's Suburban Stories, was the headline. After she was shot in the head, Sadie's now relearning to walk. And below the headline was a cute photo of Sadie sitting in the grass and smiling, with a yellow bandana knotted around her neck. My eye jumped down farther, and I saw that the article itself got right to the point. The only thing veterinarians knew for certain is that shortly after giving birth to her litter of puppies, the lovable mutt known as Sadie was shot in the head. As I read onward, my excitement grew. The article did a terrific job of relating Sadie's backstory, how she and I met, her ongoing treatment and therapy, and her hopes and prospects for the future. Sadie, you're an absolute star, I told her as I carefully refolded the paper and smoothed out any creases, saving it for Sadie's burgeoning scrapbook that was now bursting at the seams with photographs, notes, articles, printouts, and clippings. Sure enough, we saw a bump in donations and online traffic after the Daily Herald article ran. By now, Sadie's presence was global, and she was receiving messages and support from places as far away as Russia, China, Ireland, Switzerland, Canada, Norway, England, France, and Australia, in addition to her fans and supporters in almost all 50 states. Labor Day weekend 2012 offered the perfect opportunity to sit back, relax for a few days, reflect on the incredible summer we just had, and refocus our energies for the remainder of the year. As of Sunday, September 2nd, 289 people had donated a total of $7,300 to Saving Sadie. Hush. Hush. Ivy, hush. Labor Day weekend. Hush, Ivy. Labor Day weekend 2012 offered the perfect opportunity to sit back, relax for a few days, reflect on the incredible summer we just had, and refocus on our energies for the remainder of the year. As of Sunday, September 2nd, 289 people had donated a total of $7,300 to Saving Sadie via our chip-in account, while many more had contributed via checks to the credit union. Originally, we had earmarked those donations for surgery to have Sadie's leg amputated back when we thought that would be part of her rehab plan. But once that option was off the table, we refocused our fundraising on supporting Sadie's ongoing care. Fortunately, Sadie's friends and contributors totally supported that decision. Like all of us on Team Sadie, they only wanted what was best for her. I thought it was important to take some time over that weekend during a rare and precious quiet moment to sit down on the floor in the living room with Sadie at my side, surrounded by brown paper grocery bags full of the hundreds of letters of support and encouragement that people had sent. I held Sadie's head in my lap, resting her chin on my knee and stroking her velvety ears as I read the messages to her out loud. Sparky stretched out along my other side as Kit Kat and Miss Kitty observed from a distance, perched on either arm of the couch, paws folded serenely beneath them as they gazed on us and blinked sleepily. None of us really knows how much dogs truly comprehend of human speech, perhaps nothing more than a handful of trained commands. Even though they give us those sweet, innocent looks with their cocked heads and expressive faces, when we just know they are really pretending not to understand what we're saying. I believe with all my heart that dogs can sense, experience, and interpret emotion, intuiting, and responding to their person's feelings in a form of communication that goes far deeper than anything mere language can ever touch. When it comes to dogs, it is truly possible to talk without ever uttering a single word. Sadie's supporters, these people whose names we'd never heard before and whose faces we'd never seen, had taken the time and energy and effort to write Sadie. They deserved to have her hear their words, regardless of how much of the content Sadie understood. So I randomly grabbed a note from the top of the pile, opened it, and started reading aloud. This one is from Anne in California, I explained to Sadie. It says, "You can do it, girl." "Sadie, you are so brave." From Megan in the UK. "Give Sadie a big kiss for me and tell her I love her and I will pray every night for her always." That's from Brooke. Your adopted Aunt Linda writes, please give Sadie hugs and kisses for me." I wanted to keep reading, but I couldn't see through the tears filling my eyes. The love, care, and affection for Sadie that I could feel in these simple yet heartfelt words were overwhelming. "What a miracle you are, Sadie," I whispered to her, staring down into her deep amber eyes. "And to think, just a little over 4 months ago, you were considered a throwaway dog, a piece of living, breathing garbage with nothing to offer the world, doomed to spend the rest of your life locked in a metal cage at a shelter, just waiting to die. And look at you now. If only more people could see you and understand the power of what love and faith and hope can make happen in the world." Sadie wagged her tail, seeming to understand. I pulled her into my lap and wrapped my arms around her, hugging tight. I let her stay up well past her 10 p.m. bedtime that night, reading note after note full of tender hope, fervent wishes, and endless good cheer. "Sadie, you are loved," I told her simply as I finally kissed her forehead and tucked her into her bed. "You are nothing but loved in this world." The next day, we were back to therapy as usual. Power plate before breakfast, swimming, peanut ball, massage, and a few new exercises I had invented too. But when I made her work for food to go up the stairs, something changed. On the second to the top step, after much cajoling from me, Sadie raised herself from a sitting position and went up the final step all on her own. I still held out my arms to make sure she didn't fall, but she had clearly taken the final step under her own power. "You did it, Sadie, you did it," I walloped in joy. She seemed a little startled by my outburst, but I stroked her and ruffled her fur to let her know it was okay. "You are my amazing girl." I had always referred to her weak, shaky back legs as noodles. I guess that now those wiggly noodles were firming up and becoming al dente. I couldn't wait to share this amazing news with all of Sadie's fans and followers in my Labor Day newsletter that I posted on our website the next day. After giving a recap of Sadie's exciting breakthrough, I ended with, "For all of your encouragement, I say thank you to each and every one of you. You are the people who make this happen. Thank you for all of your kind words, funding, and love that made this very special moment possible." I was truly humbled by the support we were receiving and realized that all my years of fiercely proud independence had prevented me from truly understanding what teamwork was all about. It takes a village, indeed. This was just another of Sadie's remarkable gifts to me. during this time when I was supposedly saving her. Clearly, the reverse was true, and she led me to a higher purpose, lifted me up from somewhat mundane and predictable life I hadn't even realized I was living before she came into my world. One helpless, hopeless little dog had truly blessed me beyond anything I could ever have imagined. And we're going to stop there because there's a good page break. We're at page 145. So, don't forget, we'll be reading As You Wish, a short little book about the Princess Bride, about filming it. It's a fun book. I think you'll enjoy it. And otherwise, I guess I'll just see you back here, wherever you're at. Wherever you're at. I hope you have a great day, week, month, year. But wherever you're at, I hope it's great, and I hope you come back here. Bye.